Hello and welcome to episode 380 of the video show. Today, all I'm doing is just answering your questions. So I put a post on LinkedIn about a month ago just asking for people to ask me questions that they've got about video. And thank you to everyone who responded. Some people ask multiple questions and some people ask just the one question. So I'm going to do my best to answer those today in this episode. So firstly, Stefan Thomas, he has asked me a number of different questions. The first being, what is the minimum kit needed for podcasting or videos for YouTube, etc.? And then he put, and if possible, can you double up? So is there a mic that will do both jobs well, for example? So I'm just going to answer this from experience. So for my videos, I use this microphone here, which is the Rode PodMic. And I can use this for videos. I can use it for this kind of video as well. So I think it's a good microphone if you want the microphone in shot. If you don't, and this is going to come up later, there's a microphone called the Rode NTG1, which you can sort of plug into an XLR recorder and then have it sort of over your head, sort of out of shot, and it will pick up the sound really, really well. So it depends on what microphone you want. Do you want it to be in shot all the time or not? So I'm quite happy for it to be in shot here because it's getting a good quality sound for the podcast version. So this is also available as a podcasted video. But then also for the it's perfectly good for the video as well. Like it works really, really well. And because I've got this setup that's for shooting videos for podcasting and for like making videos and shooting videos in the studio here, it's perfect for me to sit down and just start making videos. And I don't mind that the podcast mic is in shot. In terms of camera, I think you do need like a pretty good camera. You can always use your phone, and people say this all the time, like you can use your phone. But like, if you want something that's separate, I always like something that's separate. So I don't like making videos on my phone because it just sort of clogs up my phone with all these videos. So by having this setup where I can come and shoot videos and record podcasts, it's separate from everything else. I don't have to do any setting up. I just have to turn a light on and turn the lights on in the studio and everything's ready to go. So if you want to build like a designated podcasting / video setup, then I think you need a good quality video camera. So like a DSLR camera that does like HD video is perfectly good for what you're going to need. So this camera I'm using is a Canon 80D, and second hand I think you can get for a few £100. And then the Rode PodMic here is about £100, and then I record it into a Rodecaster Pro. There's a Rodecaster Pro 2 out now. I think that's about £500. It's a bit over the top for what you need, so you might just want to get a USB mic that plugs straight into your computer. So I would recommend like a Blue Yeti or something like that, which I think is about £100. So you're looking about £400 to like for a basic setup. I think you need like a light or something like that to light up your face. So I've just got like a little tube strip light above my desk here that I just plug in. Really low tech, but it works. Obviously, I think it works really, really well. So yeah, I think you can double up. So yeah, the Rode PodMic's a good one if you don't mind it being in shot. Also related, which platform should I be posting video and podcasts on? Is Anchor still a good place to start? So again, just talking from my own experience, I post my videos on Anchor, which puts it out on Spotify as a video podcast, so if you can watch it on Spotify as a video. It also pushes it out to other platforms as just an audio recording as well. So for example, like Apple Podcast, Google Podcast as well. And there's loads of other places people listen to, but I've just gone for like the big ones because not a lot of people listen to this, believe it or not. And then yeah, I also post on my clips. I put the clips on LinkedIn. Like the max you can put on LinkedIn is 10 minutes. But is anyone going to sit on LinkedIn and watch a video for 10 minutes? It's so easy to scroll to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing. Like you need to grab their attention. And even then, you've probably got like a minute, 2 minutes max before they scroll on to the next thing, if you're lucky. So yeah, I put on LinkedIn as clips. I also started a YouTube channel for this now, so you can watch this on YouTube. I'm just sort of experimenting to see if it's worthwhile doing a YouTube channel and if I can sort of create the kind of content that gets traction on LinkedIn. It's a slow start, but the last few videos have picked up a little bit, and I've found that's because I'm sharing those videos directly on LinkedIn as YouTube links, and then it starts picking up views. And also asking my guests to share that YouTube link as well has worked really, really well. And then I also post on, like, put clips on LinkedIn now and again, on Instagram and TikTok now and again, but not a lot. I just think you need to work out where your audience are. So for me, it's LinkedIn. And I also put the whole video on my website as well. So you can watch this on redbookproductions.co.uk/the-video-show. Little shout out there for you. So yeah, those platforms. And for posting it on my website as well, I use Vimeo to post those videos on there. Also, what time is too early to eat lunch? How is it only 10:30? So I think 10:30 is probably too early to eat lunch. I would recommend around midday onwards, maybe to about 2. Depends on what time you wake up and what you've had for breakfast. So thank you, Steph, for those questions. I hope I've answered them sufficiently. If you've got any other questions, Steph, let me know. I'll be very happy to answer them. I do like it when people ask multiple questions as well. So if you want to ask me multiple questions, do so in the comments for the clips for this. I'm sure this bit will be a clip. So the next question was from Stephanie Briggs, and she said, is it possible to go live on Facebook and Instagram at the same time on one piece of kit? So I had a little research about this, and it says StreamYard, you can do it like if you do some jiggery pokery. I didn't look too much into that, but I know StreamYard, you can definitely stream live on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitch if you connect everything up. And I think the jiggery pokery would be around if you connect your Facebook page up to your Instagram account. And then I think that would be a way of doing it. The first thing I sort of thought of was if you have like this camera here, this one, was going live to Facebook, and then like a phone next to it that was going live to Instagram. I think that would be a really easy way of doing it. So if you had a camera that was designated for doing videos or whatever, and then you just put your phone up next to it on a tripod, that would be a really easy way of doing it, and like not paying any extra for like a bit of software to do it. So I think that would be a really easy way of doing it. I hope that answers your question, but yeah, StreamYard is probably a way of doing it and connecting it up sort of internally on Facebook to your Instagram account. Yeah, good question. I had to look into that one. Cameron Harris, when first starting a podcast, could you use your phone and a stand if working to a tight budget? So yeah, if you want to start off, you can just sort of record. I would say low budget podcasting. I would use, if it's just you, just use your phone and like the voice memo app, and then you edit on something that's like free, like Audacity or something like that, and then you can add like jingles and stuff like that, or like intros, so you can edit it. And if you've got guests for your podcast, 100%, I would say use Zoom as like the way of talking to people. Wear headphones and then record the sound either side on your phones, so on the voice memo app. So just put it on your desk, press record on the voice memo app, or like the Android equivalent or Google equivalent. And then you've got those voices. So you're recording your voice, your guest is recording their voice. You've both got headphones on, so it's not picking up each other. And then get both of those feeds, edit them together. So what you do at the start is just, and then sync it all up. So in the edit, that's a really good way of doing it. I wouldn't use the audio that Zoom are recording because it's like compressing it ridiculously. And it doesn't sound as good as if you're just using your phone for that. So yeah, Zoom, I think is like, I pay like £15 a month. Might be less on some levels. But yeah, I would use Zoom. And like, I think if Zoom is free if you're doing like under 30-minute calls or something like that. So yeah, I think use Zoom as like a low budget way to start podcasting. That's a good way of doing it. And you can also use the video for that as well. Like it's not great, but for low budget, it's a pretty good way of doing it. I use Riverside because it records in high like HD, or I might do 4K, but it definitely does HD. But that's the way I record my videos. When I've got guests on. So you can look at Riverside as well if you want to spend a bit more. But yeah, Zoom is like, it's fine. So yeah, Cameron, good question. I hope that answers it. And then Chris Pearsall, thank you. This is a good question that got me thinking. Rode Video Pro versus NTG series. So this is a microphone based question. Luckily, I do have the Rode Video Mic Pro, which is like the camera, the microphone that goes on top of the camera. And then the NTG, I've got NTG 1, which is like an XLR camera. I use them for two different things. So the way I use them, the Video Mic Pro, I clip on top of the camera, and I use that as a reference point for when I'm recording videos. So that's always recording when I'm recording, that goes straight into the camera. And it's a perfectly good camera, so it's a good backup. So if my other microphones don't work, it's a pretty good backup. Like, it's not brilliant, it's not perfect, but it's a pretty good backup if everything else fails. And then my NTG1 I use as like, this is the microphone I mentioned earlier in the video. That's the video that goes above people's heads when I'm interviewing it, or sometimes like below the shot, and it just picks up their voice. I use that as the main feed. So I used to have like a clip-on mic, so another Rode mic. It was the whatever the Rode Lav mic Plus or something like that. I used to use that, but having to like clip that on different people every time, and like with COVID and everything, I would have to get up like right up close to them and help them clip it on. So by having that microphone, it was a good like way of staying distant. And also, if I'm recording a lot of people in a day, if I've got the sound already set up and all I need to do is press a button, I don't need to worry about recording, like setting them all up with a microphone every single time. I can just go to the next person. And the NTG1, I think it's a brilliant microphone, and that's what I use it for. That's my main microphone. I've got two of them in case one breaks, and then that's my main microphone, and I use the VideoMic Pro as like a backup, but it's a perfectly good microphone as well. So yeah, that's how I use them, and it's sort of up to you how you would use them. But like if you're doing like vlogging and stuff like that, obviously you want a microphone that's portable and easy to carry around and lightweight, and it just sits on your camera. That'll work perfectly well for that. And then the NTG, I use it for more interview-based stuff. So yeah, Chris, hope that answers your question. If anybody's got any more questions, keep them coming. Let's leave them all together, and we'll do one long episode like this. So yeah, let me know your questions for future episodes. Thank you to everyone who asked a question. I hope I've answered them. If you've got any more, the ones that I've already asked, feel free to ask them again. So that's it for episode 380. We've got some great episodes lined up for the next few weeks. So keep an eye out for those on my website, on YouTube, on Spotify, and all the other platforms that I post them on. I'll be putting the links out on LinkedIn, the clips out on LinkedIn as well. So very much appreciate it. Have a great day. Watch the rest of it wherever you are. And I will see you in the next episode. Goodbye.